Hey, hi everyone. Welcome back. So guys, as part of this session, let us see a brief overview on a function. So basically, in a simple terms, we can say that it's a code block or an independent block of code which performs a specific task. Okay, so you will be writing down some set of logic on a high level. I can say that group of lines of a code would be defined inside a function. So why we need a function here? Ideally, the functions are created for a reusability purpose. Okay, when you are working on your projects, right? So here the functions are created for the reusability purpose itself. So let us elaborate more about this particular functions with some detailed examples. Okay, so here consider that I have my we have a three developers who are working for this project: developer 1, developer 2, developer 3. And for this particular developer 1, his logic, he needs to create a code for a create user. And the second developer is a edit user, and the third developer is a delete user. Ideally, in order to write this particular logic, I can say he will be logging in first, and then he will be creating first a second operation, and then he will be logging out from that operation. The same way for this user also, login, update, and a logout. For the third user, for the third developer, he need to write down the code for a login, delete, and a logout. So here, what are we doing here? The same login and a logout logic, three different people are writing three different times. Instead of doing in this way, we can create a function for login and a logout where others can simply reuse that logic. So here what it's going to happen, one person is creating the logic. Okay, one person is creating the logic and other persons are reusing that logic. Okay, and other persons are simply reusing that particular logic that itself is a objective of a function. And the syntax for this particular function is gonna be function, and we can give any name to that particular function, open brackets and a closer the brackets. And here we need to open the bracket, and whatever the logic that you want, you can put it inside that. This is how the function looks like. The basic syntax is going to be function, name of that particular function, and the logic. So immediately a question that comes in our mind, Surendra, we are writing everything in a single class. How can you call that function? So let us see how exactly we can create a function first. So here, function, I'm naming it as greeting message. Okay, I'm defining a function with a name as a greeting message. And here, console.log, welcome, hello user, welcome to our application. This is the function that we have created, which is a greeting message function. How are we gonna call it? So we know the name of this particular function, right? So simply using the name of that particular function, we can call it. Okay, using the name of that particular function, we can call it. So come back here, put that name here. So here, this is the function name. This is the logic, or we can say the body of that particular function. Now, when we try to run this particular function, hello user, welcome to our application. Perfectly all right. If you observe, we do have an option to call this function for multiple times. Okay, call this function for multiple times the same output is being printed. Instead, a kind of a question that comes in our mind, Surendra, rather than using the same function or a function without any parameters. Okay, so here is the parameterization comes into the picture. Right after the function name, there is a braces here. Right after the function name, let me highlight it again. This is the function. Right, so this is the function, and here is the braces. Right after the function, you have a name followed by a braces. The name followed by a braces, that itself we call it as a arguments. We can also call it as a parameter to a particular function. Okay, so here let me create a new function here, Okay, let me create a new function. This time I'm defining it as a greet, and for this function, I am passing the name as an input. See, guys, we are passing name as an input, and this time, if you observe the console.log, whatever the name that you are giving, we are passing it in the console.log. So here, right after the function name within the braces, you are passing a value that itself is an argument, and we are using that argument in the logic. So immediately a question that comes in our mind, Surendra, you have defined a function with some arguments. How we will pass that arguments? The simple thing, wherever you are calling that particular function, you will be passing down those arguments. So here, greet, I'm giving an input as a Surendra. Greet Surendra. So when I run this program, this Surendra is gonna substitute in it. Hence, hello Surendra, welcome to our application. Got a printed down to the console. So the point here is we are creating a function with arguments. We can also call it as we are creating a function with parameters. See, first time I'm greeting Surendra. Probably second time I'm giving as a Ramya. Okay. Third time I'm calling it as a Sneha. It's my wish basically. But this time, if you observe, when compared to function without having an argument, if you look in this situation, this function has multiple arguments in scope. Okay, this function has multiple inputs. Basically, it's substituting this particular input out over there. Okay, perfectly all right. So this is a brief introduction about the functions. Okay, see you again. Bye bye.